Now, I want to play again, cut one. I want you to listen to this again because it goes to our answer. Listen.
White people's expectation is that we need to take their attacks with gratitude and apologize for our anger. If not, we're overly sensitive and crazy. Our rage is the real problem. Except nothing makes me angrier than a white person who tells me to not be angry because they have not seen real anger yet. I did this for years in a psychoanalysis, where every time I got angry around race, this white called me psychotic. She told me that the problem was that I was, quote, too smart, and that I either had to be psychic or psychotic. Her interpretations had nothing to do with me. Psychoanalysis was used as a weapon on me to have aspects of her mind, a projection which I'll unpack. She'd attack me through racist interpretations and then make my anger, quote, the problem. I spent years unpacking her racism to her while she charged me cash money for years. And then she'd attempt to, quote, teach me because she had concern about my anger. I couldn't get her to shut the up. This is the cost of talking to white people at all. The cost of your own life as they suck you dry. There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil.
Okay. This is a real problem. She said that white people tell her that her anger is the problem, but they haven't seen real anger yet. That's a threat, and I don't know what that threat means. I think I do, seeing that in her text she has fantasies of shooting all white people in the head. She's also saying that a white person told her she's either psychic or psychotic. Well, that makes perfect sense if you believe that you know what all white people think. You know what's in the hearts of all white people, in the minds of all white people. You are either psychotic or you're psychic, and I don't believe in psychics. At least for sure, I don't think she's psychic. Then she said she tried to teach me. This goes to her saying you can't teach white people because she's had somebody in her life that said, I'm really concerned about your anger. When I went to Auschwitz, I've told you a million times, but there are a few things that I want you to remember and say them like mantras to yourself. And write them down. Keep them posted in front of you. We must be able to remember and quote a few things. Bible scriptures would be really, really good. But these two are, let me give you three. These three things I repeat almost all the time that are really important. One, there are many things that I believe that I shall never say. But I shall never say the things that I do not believe. So there might be things that you believe that are going on that you don't need to say right now. But don't you ever get into a situation where you are writing a paper in school or you are being asked to do something at work. Do not ever say the things that you do not believe. Don't. You will become part of the problem. There is a reason they want you to write these things down. There's a reason they want you to study them and say them out loud and be in groups while you say them. It is imprinting that on your soul. You cannot do that and not be changed. The second thing is from Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said, silence in the face of evil is evil itself. Not to stand is to stand. Not to speak is to speak. And God will not hold us guiltless. We must stand. We must take a stand. We must speak out because this is evil. And anyone within this, I don't care who you voted for, you know this is evil. And a sign that this is known to be evil is this woman's getting pushback even from the left. Now, she's not being banned until 2024 because, she could be a danger to our society. But she's at least getting some pushback, which means even the crazies know she at least shouldn't have said it out loud. That's the scary thing. There are many people that will believe this, but will drop the radical pose for the radical ends. The last thing you need to remember, and it really pulls off of this, she said, this woman told her that her rage is a problem. Yes, rage is a problem. Name the thing that you have ever done when you were in a rage that you're proud of. I'd like to hear from you. If you have something that you've done in a rage that you are proud of, call me. The only time I can think of anything that might have been done in a rage that I can't believe you'd be proud of, but maybe was for the good, and listen to this carefully, was when rage is... used as a weapon when you're in war. Become enraged. It's a good thing because all of your other senses stop. All of your other roadblocks, all of the neurological bridges that stop you from killing someone, when you're in a rage, you will kill. So I guess maybe it could be said that rage is a good thing in war. Maybe, but not if you're really good at war. I am speaking as a novice here. My apologies to anyone who's actually fought in a war. But I would imagine the cooler you can maintain your head, the better soldier you are. Rage might be good to get people to do it when they didn't want to do it. I think of Fury, the movie Fury, where they're like, you gotta hate those Germans. Hate is good when you're trying to kill people. So when she says, my rage isn't a problem, my anger isn't a problem, and she follows it with, because you haven't seen real anger yet, what does that mean? By the way, when you want to kill somebody and you're in a rage, you walk in and your wife is with another man. I mean, your wife, you walk in, Pat, am I wrong? You walk in with your wife and she's with another woman. I mean...
That would lessen my rage.
Yeah.
Be
Miller time. But if you walk in to the room and your wife is with another man, you can be enraged, and you won't get first-degree murder. You can get second-degree murder because you flew into a rage.
Right.
She said, they want us to apologize for our rage. How many times have you had to apologize when you flew off the handle? Even if it was justified in your own mind. This woman is from Iran. And I find it interesting because if she came over here to be free, she should know better. What does Iran or the Islamic countries include in their judicial system, in their sentencing in particular, that we do not? The person who gets to sentence the guilty is the victim. So if you had a violent rape, this never happened in Iran, but let's just say that you were raped violently by 3 men, and somehow in Islamic country they would find the men guilty. You decide the punishment. We don't do that because you're too close to it. You can't balance justice and mercy. So she's saying, don't apologize for the rage. We have to act on our rage. Here's the last thing I want you to remember. The world is completely upside down. It's upside down and inside out. Do you remember when we used to say that that's what they're trying to do? Turn it all upside down and inside out. It is now inside out and upside down. People are wearing their clothes backwards and inside out. And they say, no, this is the way it's always been. This is the right way to do it. No, it's not. And all of us, most of us, remember what a parent or a grandparent or a trusted teacher or somebody who really impacted your life, we know what they taught us. We know the difference between right and wrong. We know that our rage is wrong. We know we should apologize for our anger. We know that we should go back and have polite conversations because that's the only way that anything can get done. We know also from our parents, our grandparents, especially probably our grandparents, if you don't stand up and say something, you're part of the problem. If you don't stand up and peacefully let your voice be heard and say, this is wrong, if you don't stand up for the little guy when they're being bullied, and I don't care what side they're on, I don't care what color they are, I don't care where they're from, if you don't stand up for the little guy who is getting bullied, you're part of the problem. This is the last thing I want you to remember, and I've said it a million times, and I used to really feel horrible for saying it over and over again, but it has to be said. When I was in Auschwitz, and I met one of the people who saved Jews, she told me, you misunderstand. The righteous didn't suddenly become righteous. They just refused to go over the cliff with the rest of society. That's where we are. Don't go over the cliff.